Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video today on the TVOS channel. Today is episode 7, going over the college football week with a lot of upsets and just going over like the 1 p.m. NFL games. Today I'm here with my guest,
Landon Ingram.
Yes, sir. Landon is here on today's episode of TVOS, lifelong friend, and he has some ball knowledge. So we are going to jump in talking about the AP poll. A lot of big changes. Landon, what was the most surprising change, seen on the AP poll for you?
Really Penn State and Texas. They both lost. They're out now.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. Both teams took a pretty harsh loss with, Penn State losing to UCLA and Texas losing to Florida. Them being, kicked out the entire rankings is definitely very surprising to me. I told my dad about it. He thought I was lying, but definitely very surprising. Texas started the year off number 1, and now they're not even ranked. What is your thoughts on, Texas and what they need to do to, redeem themselves?
Yeah, they got to start winning road games. They're 0-2 on the road right now. Arch Manning, he's still learning. He's still got one more year, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'll stay in college football.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then Penn State had a very, harsh loss to UCLA, who actually has also had a pretty harsh season. That first game that they played, they had a blowout loss. And, with them winning, I think their first game of the season. Yeah, their first game of the season was against Penn State. They lost 43-10 against Utah, 23-30 against UNLV, 35-10 to New Mexico, and 14-17 to Northwestern. Penn State, being kicked out after back-to-back losses. We talked about what does Texas need to do. What does the Nittany Lions need to do to hop back in those rankings and re-redeem themselves?
They just got to start winning conference games. That was a huge conference game right there, and they lost it. So.
Yeah, for sure. And, they're playing Northwestern at home next week. And that's a pretty big game, with Northwestern beating UCLA and coming off a huge win, 42-7 against Louisiana Monroe. That is definitely a big game that Penn State definitely needs to win. And both of those teams, very surprising losses. Very surprising that they're out of the entire poll. But now let's, jump in just to the poll in general. Ohio State 1, Miami 2, Oregon 3. What is your opinions on the top 3? I think that's a pretty solidified top 3. Or do you think that it needs to be in some different order? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I like it because Ohio State, they're still undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon, they're playing their best ball right now. They just beat Penn State last week.
Yeah.
And Miami, they just went into a high-star environment and beat Florida State. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely think that's the correct top 3. I have seen a lot of people talk about, Ohio State doesn't deserve that number 1 spot. And I think that's just outlandish. Ohio State, they started off the season going against the number 1 team in Texas. Yes, I know that Texas is unranked now, but you got to look at, them already being ranked 3, playing the number 1 team, beating them, and then, they beat Grambling State 70-0, beat Ohio 37-9, they beat Washington 24-6, and Minnesota 3-42. And it's I know all those teams that they played aren't stated as talented besides Texas, but I think you can't really go down if you're beating your team by that many points. And to only allow 25 points the entire season through 6 games, that definitely solidifies yourself as a top team, with Ohio State being the number 1 team. So they go into Illinois, who is ranked, I want to say, they're ranked 17th. So what is your, outlook on that game, Ohio State versus Illinois? And what could a win there for Ohio State do? And what could a win for Illinois do?
For Illinois, that would be a very good win. Are they even home for that game?
Yeah, it is Ohio State at Illinois. And so, yeah, that's a very big game. It's noon game as well. So, yeah, like how you said, it'd be a very big win for Illinois.
And they're home. So
Yes.
They would be away, so they got to go get the crowd. But I feel like Ohio State would just be able to win that game.
Yeah, and Illinois lost to Indiana early in the season, absolute blowout, 10-63. So that would definitely put Illinois right back on the right foot. You know, they just beat Purdue 43-27. So that will be probably the number one game of the week next week. For Ohio State, probably a big game for Ohio State. Number one game of the week that can really change up the AP poll. You know, Alabama plays Missouri as well, and Indiana plays Oregon. Oklahoma plays Texas, that can really help Texas if they pull that off.
Yeah, robbery right there.
Yeah. So, the next one we're going, 4 through 10. We got Ole Miss at the 4, A&M at the 5, Oklahoma at the 6, Indiana at the 7, Bama at 8, Texas Tech at 9, Georgia at 10. What is your opinion on those, order? And do you think, those teams deserve to be ranked where they're at?
Alabama, they shocked me because after the first game, I thought they were going to be bad this season, but they went into a Georgia hostile environment and they beat Georgia. And they beat Vanderbilt yesterday. So
yeah, that was a very impressive win. Beating Vanderbilt definitely shook up. Vanderbilt season. 2 interceptions thrown by the Vanderbilt quarterback. A great job from that Alabama defense, only allowing 14 points.
That's shocking right there. I thought Vanderbilt was going to go in there and win.
Yeah, with Alabama, they lost that game to Florida State in the very beginning of the year. And then, they've just been dominating so far. They won 73-0 against Louisiana Monroe, 38-14 to Wisconsin. Like how you said, they went into Georgia and had a big win there. And then, beating a ranked Vanderbilt team. And like I said, they play Missouri next, which is, a very big game for Alabama and Missouri. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I think Alabama definitely being at 8, they redeemed themselves after that, loss in the early of the season. But what is your opinion on, Georgia being at the 10 and, Oklahoma falling down to 6 after a big win?
Yeah, Oklahoma, they've been playing pretty good this season. They shocked me. I thought, after what happened last year, I thought they were going to be like an average team, like a 9 team. But they're looking like they're going to be in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, and Oklahoma did win 44-0, but Texas A&M had that impressive win over Mississippi State. So yeah, and like I said with the college football playoffs, this has been a very different year than last year. We are seeing teams, last year it was really all the good teams were in the college football playoffs, maybe besides SMU. But this season, it's a lot different than it was last season. So, what teams do you think, may not be in the top 10 now, but can still find themselves a way into the college football playoffs?
I have a lot of faith in I feel like Florida State can get back up in there. They're a good team. They just didn't play good last night. They did come back though, but they didn't play good at start.
Yeah, and how it all works. It's all based off of conferences and stuff. So Florida State being the primary powerhouse in the ACC, next to Miami, Florida. If they somehow beat Florida in the ACC championship, if they make it, Virginia's been playing pretty good football. And, Pittsburgh, they're 3-2, but maybe they can find a way to get it back up there alongside with Duke and NC State. I definitely think Florida, if they go into the playoffs, they could, be a Cinderella story. I think maybe they could go in there and pull something off. But once again, it's if they can stop Miami, who has just been pure domination with Carson Beck.
Yeah.
And, speaking of Carson Beck, he threw 4 touchdowns yesterday, only 7 incompletions. What do you think, him transferring over from Georgia to Miami, do you think that was, a good move for him? And, how is that, going from Cam Ward to Carson Beck, how has that shaped up the Miami offense?
No, I think they're about both the same.
Yeah.
Good pocket passing quarterback. They can run when they want to.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has good weapons around him. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, both the quarterbacks, Cam Ward, pretty impressive there at Florida, but in the NFL, he's not really done anything. You can say reasons why, but why do you think Cam Ward has not been able to, get like a starting foot, I guess? Because, I mean, I've seen him play, he's 64 for 125. He's not, he is a little over 50%, but only 2 passing touchdowns this season. What do you think? Like, personally, I think it's, his offensive line and, that first game, his receivers dropped a lot of passes. So, like, what do you think needs to happen for that Titans offense to snap back?
Yeah, I agree. They have to, the line has to block better for him, and the receivers have to catch balls. Because if not, then that's going to be a long season.
Yeah, and they are ranked last in points per game. They're ranked 31st for total yards per game. They're ranked 31st for total passing yards per game. I mean, their defense is also ranked 28th, which is, not good at all. So I just think that entire Titans, that Titans organization is just not good at all. But, they play the Cardinals today on Sunday, October 5th. So that is a must-win game for the Titans, or they're going to end up be drafting Jeremiah Smith next year. Well, not next year, but, the year after. Because, this team is very disappointing. And it's crazy to see, I haven't been watching football for a long, long time. When I started watching football, the Tennessee Titans were in the AFC Championship. So it's a lot. It's weird seeing, the Titans not being, the powerhouse they were a few years ago.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go over, the week of football. In our last segment, we went over college football, and we're going to go over, the week of NFL. We are in the 1 p.m. games right now, so we'll quickly go over them. Texans are leading the Ravens 44-10. Dolphins, Panthers 17-13. Raiders, Colts. Colts are winning 40-6. Giants are losing to the Saints 26-14. Cowboys are beating the Jets 30-6. Eagles are beating the Broncos 17-10. And that is it for the 1 p.m. game. So me and Landon are going to predict what we think, the 4 p.m. and above games are and, kind of our score predictions. So, you ready, Landon?
Yeah.
Titans at Cardinals. 4 p.m. game. Who do you have winning, and what do you think the score will be?
I think, we just talking about Cam Ward. I feel like this is a bounce back game for him.
Okay. So you think...
I don't think they're going to win, though, but I think he will do good.
Okay. So what is your final score prediction?
Score, I think it's going to be 24-21. A very close game.
Okay. Yeah, I like that, and I agree with you. I don't think the Titans, they're going to have to definitely pull out something crazy. With just that defense in general, they've been allowing a lot of points, and, that Cardinals defense has also been really good, only allowing 18.5 points per game, but they're ranked overall pretty low on the stat record. So like how you said, I got the Cardinals winning 17-3. I don't like how you said you think that Cam Ward and that offense is going to go off. I just think they're going to struggle this game as well against that Cardinals defense. So yeah, we both have the Cardinals winning. This is our score predictions right here shown on the screen. And we'll come back to this next episode, seeing how close our predictions was. Next game, 2-3-1 teams. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Seahawks. Who do you have winning, and what is your score prediction?
I like watching Baker Mayfield play. He's a very
yes.
He has his career. I thought it was over. But in Tampa Bay showed us that he just needed a new system, man.
Yeah.
He has good weapons around him. I don't think Mike Evans is playing this. He still has a Mecca Buka. It's just a lot of good people around him. So I think that the Bucs will win 31-21. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I agree with you. I mean, Baker Mayfield has been great to watch. He's been fun to watch. Watching him, struggling Cleveland go out and make the playoffs with Cleveland, and then, him, having a weird demise going to Carolina and then going to Los Angeles and then finally ending up here in Tampa Bay. Like how you said, it's really all dependent on that system. And yeah, I mean, he has the weapons this season to, go off like how he has been. 8 passing touchdowns. Crazy. 904 yards already 4 games into the season. But Sam Darnold, he's been playing decent football, 70% completion percentage, and Kenneth Walker has been running all over the field. So this game, this is, in my opinion, the pick of the week. I have Kenneth Walker and the Seattle Seahawks pulling off a close win against the Buccaneers, 28-27, in a thriller game. I think Emeka Egbuka is going to go for a touchdown and 6+ receptions. So yeah, and I'm actually looking right here. It looks like Baker Mayfield actually leads the Buccaneers in rushing yards. So that is actually kind of crazy. Okay, so you have the Bucs winning. I have the Seahawks winning. Next game, Lions-Bengals. Who do you have winning?
Oh, man. If Joe Burrow's playing, I still would be a close game, but nah. The Lions, they've been struggling, but last week their defense came to play with the Browns. Mm-hmm. I feel like the defense still like to play. I feel like it'll be a shootout. It'll probably be 24-40. Yeah.
Oh, wow. 24-40. That is, yeah, and you said you had the Lions winning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I got the Lions winning, but I think it's not going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a blowout. Jake Browning has not been able to find foot with this Bengals offense. He's thrown 5 interceptions this season. And, yeah, but, they are ranked 31st for points per game, and they're ranked last for total yards per game. And, the Detroit Lions are ranked first. Well, the Bengals defense have allowed 30 points per game. So I have the Detroit Lions winning 31-10. Actually, 31-9. That is my prediction. 31-9. Detroit Lions take home that win at 4 p.m. football. Okay, our next and last 4 p.m. football game, Commanders at Chargers. Who do you have winning, and what is the score of the game?
Jaden Daniels is gonna be back, so
yes.
I don't think the Chargers will win, but it'll be definitely a close game after Chargers lost last to New York.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the score will be. I think it'll be 28-21. It'll be a close game.
28-21. Okay, yeah. Like how you said, Jaden Daniels is back. He is healthy, and I think this Commanders offense is going to be explosive this game. The Chargers' entire team is actually probably in their heads, after a big loss to the New York Giants. But, that's their first loss of the season. So this game, I have the Commanders winning as well. I have them winning 24-17 Commanders. And, yeah, so that will wrap it up for the 4 p.m. game. We have 4 p.m. games. We have 2 more games left. Patriots at Bills. Sunday night football. Gosh, I don't know why I'm messing up. Sunday night football, the Bills will be using their new Nike rival jerseys. Who do you think will win, Landon?
I love New England.
Yeah.
They've been playing good. Great thing, they've been proving a lot of people wrong this year. I feel like, Josh Allen, they're good to their prove, after a close game last week to that team.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Okay, so what? So you say you got the Bills winning?
I'll give the Bills. I'll say it'll be 21-24. That's a close game.
Okay, yeah. I think that this New England offense is pretty good. 7 passing touchdowns. Overall, Drake May has had a somewhat equal year so far to Josh Allen. But do not let that, fool you. It's Stephon Diggs' return back to Buffalo. But I have the Bills, wiping the floor against them. They are first in the league for rushing yards per game. They are second for points per game, second for total yards per game, seventh for passing yards per game. I have the Bills beating the New England Patriots 31-6, where James Cook will have over 110 rushing yards. That is my pick. I have May throwing an interception. I actually have, I know this is pretty, very precise, kind of. I have Allen, maybe fumbling the ball once. I don't know. I'm a Bills fan, so I definitely look into these games a lot more. I just think that the Buffalo offense will run all over the New England offense. And that might be a little bit of biasy, but I don't know. I think, the Patriots offense, they play pretty good against the run, holding Gentry to 38 yards. They held, Devon A. Chain to they hold Devon A. Chain to 30 rushing yards. This New England offense or New England defense for the run game has been pretty dominant. Holding Jalen Warren to 47 yards, and that blowout win against the Panthers, they held Chuba Hubbard to 49 yards. But I don't know what it is, but I feel like James Cook is here to play, and he's gonna run over that New England offense. So like I said, I got them winning 31-3. And the last and final game, Monday Night Football, Chiefs at Jaguars. The Chiefs are 2-2 and the Jaguars are 3-1. For the final game and the final segment, Landon, who do you have winning?
Yeah, man, this is gonna be a good game because the Jaguars defense, they're better than what I thought.
Yeah.
I think they lead the league in turnovers. So if they can get pressure to Pat Mahomes and Mahomes start throwing picks, I don't think, and as long as Trevor Lawrence can get reads down the field, the Jaguars should be able to win this game.
Yeah, and this is a very big game. Very big game for both teams. The Chiefs started off the season 0-2. The Jags 3-1. In my opinion,
very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive from the Jags. In my opinion, ETN, 394 rushing yards this season, 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, though, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Both these defenses are ranked top 10 in points allowed per game. And I think this will definitely be a very close game. And in my opinion, I don't think it will be very high scoring. I have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Jacksonville Jaguars 14-10. It's not. I know it's crazy. I just think it's not high scoring at all. Both of these teams are ranked. Chiefs are ranked 16 for points per game. Jags are ranked 18. I just think it's gonna come down to those defenses, both top 10 defenses. I have the Chiefs winning 14-10 in a very close game. I think it's gonna come down to last quarter field goal or whatever. But that is our predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will go over them in the next episode. And once again, Landon, thank you for coming on to today's episode. I know I told you before we hit record that it would be around 15 minutes, and we have hit the 24-minute mark. But, time goes by when you're having fun. So, once again, thank you for coming on to today's episode, Landon.
Yeah, man. I'll be back.
All right, yes, sir, he will be back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to today's episode of TVOS. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We will be posting another video sometime next week. But like how I said, we should start doing Facebook Lives instead of, recordings like this. I probably will have the Facebook handle in the next episode. But, yeah. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next episode. All right, see you guys. Bye.